Okay, this is lecture 2.2. We are continuing with our positivist theories, but now moving into social learning theories, which are a subset of positivist theories. So, the first of our social learning theories is Sutherland's differential association theory. The very basics of this is that if you hang out with good people, you'll have good behavior. If you hang out with bad people, you'll have bad behavior. I like to say about this one that this is the one sociological theory that my mom hit square on the head. Right? If you if teenagers hang out with good friends, they will exhibit good behavior, and bad friends bad behavior. The reason for that is that our definitions of deviance are learned from our interactions with others. So deviance occurs in people who have more concentrated criminal contacts than anti-criminal contacts. So if all your friends think that it is okay to shoplift, that it is okay to take a couple shots of whiskey before class, any number of things. If your friends, the people you associate with, do those things, then you'll be more likely to do those things as well. Now, Glasser's differential identification theory states that individuals must identify with criminals in order to engage in criminal behavior. This is a little bit different. Within differential association theory, it says that if your friends do bad things, then you'll do bad things. Glaser says that if you identify as being a criminal, you'll do bad things. And there is a distinction there. So Glaser would say that just because your friends are doing criminal things, you might not do criminal things as long as you don't identify as being criminal, even if you are still friends with those people. And that's a pretty important distinction for a lot of people, and especially a lot of teens. Burgess and Akers' differential reinforcement or social learning theory states that people will engage in criminal activity if it is rewarded. So if the crime that you are doing actually does pay, if you aren't getting caught for shoplifting, and you are getting things through shoplifting that you couldn't otherwise get, that you'll keep doing that. So basically, if you keep getting rewarded for your criminal behavior and you aren't getting caught, then you'll keep doing that thing. And here is table 2.3, which are the three different versions of social learning theory. So both Sutherland, Glasser, and Burgess, they all fall into social learning theory. They're just slightly different versions of that. Now let's talk about control theory. Control theory explores why people conform, not why they deviate. So control theory is interested in how social control works. Why do people choose to not break the law? Now it should be noted that control theory accepts a Freudian concept of deviance, that it can occur naturally without social control. That isn't really something that sociologists would be super interested in. A lot of Freud's theory has been discounted by modern social thinkers, but so control theory in its rawest form isn't really what we're looking for. But some of the theories that come after control theory, some of the theories after the original, that's the stuff we're interested in. So Hershey's control theory then, not the basic control theory, but Hershey's, contends that strong bonds to society ensure conformity. So Hershey's control theory would say that if we have a strong community network, if we have strong ties to our friends, our family members, and our neighbors, then we will not break the law. And weak bonds lead to deviant acts. So if people are not invested in their community, then they might be more likely to litter, they might be more likely to steal. And then, that sub-bullet, if we have weak bonds and we decide to start breaking the law and doing criminal things, and we find other people who do criminal things, then we will form bonds with those criminals. And therefore, when we form strong bonds with criminals, we're more likely to break the law or anti-conform, right? So Hershey also suggests, therefore, that criminal subcultures are very much a thing, and if someone gets involved in a criminal subculture, they'll be more likely to break the law. But this theory is most interested in why people conform. Title states that a lack of control or too little or too much control creates deviance. So if you don't have control over your situation, or if you have too much control over a situation, creates deviance. So if you have a lot of power over people, if you are the most powerful person in your school or the most powerful person in your neighborhood, you might be tempted to break those rules. Similarly, if you have no control, you might be likely to break the rules. It's the people in the middle of the spectrum. If you know anything about bell curves, it's people in the middle of the bell curve, not people on the other sides of the bell curve. Those are the ones at the small ends. Those are the ones that break the rules. Bratwaite proposed that shaming is a form of social control. That there are two types of shaming. There is disintegrative shaming and reintegrative shaming. Disintegrative shaming includes shunning, stigmatization, and banishment. So one way of controlling people in our societies is by punishing those who break the laws very harshly, right? And if we don't let them back in our community, then that shows everybody else what not to do. Sure, we lose that person, but it causes everyone else to fear that, right? And then reintegrative shaming is more positive in that the wrongdoer is shunned and banished, but then after a period of time is then welcomed back into the community. With reintegrative shaming, we could, if we would tweak our criminal justice system, if we would tweak our prison systems, we could do that better. We don't really. If you want to learn a whole lot about that, I actually teach a prisons course. You can keep an eye on that. We talk all about that. But hypothetically, in the prison system, we should be able to do reintegrative shaming, but we don't really. Deterrence doctrine is another component of control theory. And deterrence doctrine is really what a lot of American criminal justice is based on. It emphasizes the role of formal social control in determining deviance. So it assumes that we people, we humans, are rational and will continue to commit crime. That it basically makes the assumption everyone wants to break the law all the time. Right? That we want to steal, that we want to cheat, that we want to murder people. But we don't do those things because we know we're going to get thrown in jail if we do that. It's a pretty, pessimistic, it's a pretty dark version of assuming how other people work. General deterrence is another concept that if we deter the public from committing crime, and we can deter the public from committing crime by making examples of people that we put in prison. And then more specific deterrence is meant to deter criminals from committing more crimes. So let's put this another way. It is a general deterrence mindset just to have police around and to show us that if you break any law, you'll get thrown in jail, right? More specific deterrence is setting down very specific laws for, say, rape or murder or shoplifting that you will spend, this is just a wild example, 4 years in jail if you, 4 years in prison, sorry, if you steal $200 worth of merchandise from a store. That's a specific deterrence as opposed to the general deterrence of if you break the law, you'll get thrown in jail. I hope that's clear. And here we have table 2.4. This lays out your positivist theories of deviance. It lays out all of your anomie strain theories. I know there's a lot of them, right? And then it lays out your social learning theories. And then it lays out your control theories. I hope this was a helpful lecture to you, and I will see you later.